Shall we talk about music? Well, today I'm going to do a bit of a follow up to my top 10 favorite female singers video that I did 2 or 3 weeks ago. And I want to thank everybody who passed a comment. As always, it's fantastic to get comments, and I always try and reply. And one of the things under this video is that it reminded me of some other brilliant female singers that I really should try and acknowledge as well. So I thought what I'd do today is kind of pick some of the best of the rest, as it were. And I know there are some people who've got some out of this bunch. They'll be in their top 10, but it is what it is. It's kind of opinions after all, isn't it? So let's just pick a few of the other great singers and great albums associated with them. But before I do that, I just want to kind of remind myself and anybody else who might be watching about the criteria that I endeavored to apply when it came to selecting which were the most, kind of the best female singers. So if you remember, if you watched that one, like somebody with a distinctive voice, a kind of a mature, lived-in voice. So not something twee and youthful, but something where there is, you can tell there's a degree of wisdom and gravitas in there. A good range, obviously. The ability to convey emotion. Now, what moves me might be different from what moves you. So, but it's kind of what moves me is the most important thing. I did give some kind of points for songwriting ability and overall creativity. That's why you saw Kate Bush in the in and around the 10, shall we say? And I also kind of like women who are strong characters. So they're not just their personality is not just submerged in a band somewhere. They are really able to project something a little bit more than just the technical ability to sing. So there's something about them that is compelling to watch and listen to. Um, yeah, and I did say I wasn't keen on belters. So anyway, so that's kind of the criteria. So let me just pick some other great singers that I really like, and the first one is Joan Armatrading. This album, I think, was her second album. Someone's going to correct me there. Whatever for Us, I think, was the first one. This has the brilliant Love and Affection track. That was a big hit from this album. Absolutely superb. This and Show Some Emotion, I think the follow up is absolutely superb. But it opens with Down to Zero, yeah, Love and Affection, Tall in the Saddle, so really sassy as well. So yeah, Joan Armatrading, fabulous album, great singer. Someone else I overlooked was Joan Baez. Now, there's Joan. Joan Baez, very famous for being a firebrand protest singer in the early 60s. Covered, I think, up until the mid 70s. I think she covered half of Bob Dylan's songs on various collections of his tracks. But this is another good album. Got several of hers. She's got this purity in her voice. She can go really high, but it's always under control. It's really quite stunning voice. My preference is for a voice as she gets a bit older and some of the high pitches are kind of rounded off a little bit. But yeah, Joan Baez, undoubtedly an absolutely fantastic singer. Um, he has another great singer, but this is kind of in the lounge genre rather than rock and pop, and that is the amazing Shirley Bassey. Now, if you know Shirley Bassey, you'll know that she sang several of the James Bond themes. Um, and what an incredible personality. Now, I grew up, I'm pretty sure she had a TV show when I was kind of in my young teens. And she was such a, I mean, I use the term for Joan Baez like a powerhouse. She was as well. She's an incredible performer. It's kind of, as I say, it's lounge. It's a little bit of pop, but to be honest, it's kind of for a more mature audience. And so anyway, Shirley Bassey, absolutely brilliant singer, no doubt about it. Um, a few people mentioned Stevie Nicks, of course, of Fleetwood Mac fame. Um, Distinctive voice, lived in now, no doubt about it. Not sure about what her range is. Um, and she's kind of a little bit submerged in the band inside Fleetwood Mac. So, but she did strike out, of course, in several solo albums. So I'm probably being a little bit unfair. But I like this album. This is the album she did with Lindsey Buckingham before they joined the band, Fleetwood Mac, that is. Not one of my favorite singers, but undoubtedly very, very talented, to say the least. Again, someone who's not one of my favorites, but it's undeniable that she had a great voice and great purity. Also a drummer, apparently, and that is Karen Carpenter. This is just a collection of the Carpenter stuff there. So back in the 70s, when I was buying and listening to pop and rock music, geez, the Carpenters, schmaltzy, not interested in the slightest. But as I've got older, I've kind of got a bit more room in my listening bandwidth to give the Carpenters listen from time to time. So no doubt about it, good singer. Here's another one, Mayor Brannan from Clanad. Uh, great singer as well. Celtic kind of sound, Irish. Worked with U2 famously. Is it on this album here? No, I don't think it is. No, no, it's not. But they did a theme from Harry's Game. Yeah, good, nice, kind of, as I say, that Celtic roots feel. Somebody who deserves attention, but I'm not sure she's a great singer. But she was involved in some great music. There's no doubt about it, in her solo albums and with Fairport Convention, and that's Sandy Denny. And this is a 4 LP box set on Island that has tracks from her time with the Fairports and then beyond. Yeah, really good singer. Little bit, I don't want to use the word one trick pony. That's not true. But she had that folk kind of phrasing in her singing that kind of locks her into that genre for me. I've never really I've considered her to be a great artist, and I've enjoyed her music, but I've never really considered her to be one of the great singers. But I know there's a lot of love out there for Sandy Denny. Somebody who was possibly the most successful female singer of all time, and that's Madonna. Saw her once in Leeds in the 1980s, I think, on the Like a Prayer or Erotica tour. I can't remember. It was a big outdoor gig. Great time, great fun. My biggest memory is spending about 2 hours trying to get out of the place in the car through some very narrow gates. But nevertheless, yeah, great performer. Never thought. I mean, her early albums, she's got that really squeaky voice, and a lot of people don't rate her. But I think by the time you get to Ray of Light, this album here, is her voice is maturing very nicely. The trouble is with Madonna, one of the troubles is that she has got such a big personality, and she's such a pop icon. Trying to get past all of that and just think and consider her voice alone is pretty difficult. But yeah, a great artist and a good singer, no doubt about it. Now I'm going to lump 2 or 3 or 4 together here, and this is kind of in the jazz genre, or lounge, jazz stroke lounge. And the guy to tune into is Richard Riley, because in the vinyl community, because he's a real aficionado of female singers. Now, so let me just quickly show them. Sarah Vaughan, Julie London, bit of a collection there. Here's another one, Lena Horne. And 2 more, Ella, and slightly different from the others because her voice betrays a much more vulnerability than the others, and that's Billie Holiday, and forever known for Strange Fruit, of course. The reason why none of these got into my top 10 is that there's something about it, particularly when you get to Ella Fitzgerald. The Great American Songbook seems to dominate her catalogue, and it just doesn't move me. It's enjoyable. I can play it, and particularly at nighttime, and you kind of imagine some circumstance where I'm sitting there with a beer or a glass of wine. And I think, yeah, this is really, really nice. Or maybe if it's on in the background. But yeah, all good for what they are. But as I say, Richard Riley, he's the guy if you want to know about female singers of that sort of genre. Sally Oldfield was mentioned. I don't know much about Sally Oldfield, really. Mike Oldfield's sister, I think. I can't remember much about this album from 1981. Somebody I do really like, and I've broken my rule about being not really choosing leaders of bands, and that is the wonderful Annie Haslam from Renaissance. And that's her in the middle. That's not her, the big picture on the cover. That's her in the middle of the back cover here. Tremendous range. Prog music with a very orchestral feel to it. So they toured with orchestra as well. Had a big, and pulled a lot on Russian classical music in their stuff. This is my favorite album, The Song for All Seasons, from 78, I think it is, or 79. 78. Yeah, wonderful album. Great singer. Seems a really nice person. She's out there still performing and still doing interviews with people as they release archive albums from their earlier career. Here's another one that has got a fantastic voice, but she drops points for her biggest hits really being cover versions of other people's songs, and that's Linda Ronstadt. And this is her Heart Like a Wheel. Undoubtedly an absolutely fantastic voice, and the trio albums she did with Emmylou and Dolly Parton were tremendous as well. Great voice, no doubt about it. And just a couple more. The magnificent Diana Ross. This is, of course, the album Diana that she did with Chic. And what's this? Got to be late 70s. Got to be late 70s. Oh, no, 1980. So there you go. So I'm Coming Out, Tenderness, My Old Piano, Upside Down. Yeah, tremendous singer, no doubt about it. Really good. And one that was mentioned that I don't think is a great singer, but another pop icon, and that's Debbie Harry. I don't think Debbie Harry was technically a really great singer, but what a personality and what a front person for a band. Absolutely superb. But yeah, not one of my favorite singers, although the band and this album in particular is tremendous. My old friend Peter Smith, who passed a comment as well, kind of criticized my choices of the top 10 by saying they were all over 60. Well, maybe bar one. And he started naming names of female singers in the 20s and 30s. And what you need to know is that I think Peter sleeps with Spotify on, so he's so up to date with the latest indie bands and pop bands and singers, and he's got some great taste. There's no doubt about it. But I kind of look backwards, and he keeps up with the latest stuff. I kind of look backwards, and I'm kind of thinking about all these people I've selected, all these great singers, their music is still appealing after all these years, and some of them 50, 60 years. They're still really important artists and well renowned for that. So anyway, I just thought I'd share a few more of my favorite female singers, fill in some of the gaps along the way, and yeah, that's it for the time being. So there you go. That's my latest video, and I will see you on the next one. Thanks for watching. Ta-da.